I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody, but I'd also like to thank the FAA Airports Division staff who are here and hiding. But I'd also personally especially like to thank Gail Luttrell, who wasn't able to make it here today, but Gail was on this project from the very get-go, and it's great to see that we've finally gotten to a point. I'm sure that's, Gail is very glad to be here, or glad this is done. I'd like to thank Mayor Harkins and former Mayor Bill Finch, who got this all moving, and also to Mayor Joe Ganim, who got this completed. So we're moving along. And also to a lot of the city staff, most importantly, John Rickey, who was the airport manager, who got this all moving. Our former DOT Commissioner, Steve Porter, who also got this project moving, not to be here and long retired. And I'm sure I've missed somebody, because I can't keep my notes straight. And also I would like to thank my wife and my family, who have put up with countless calls in the middle of the night, frustrations on my part, and a lot of sleepless nights. And then finally, I'm going to turn this over, but I would like to thank those who put on this event: Volo Aviation, Brian Cambria, Tailwinds Aviation, who supplied the plane for Stratford, Gamma Aviation, who's been a long-time tenant here at Sikorsky Airport, who gave us the plane for Bridgeport. I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Ganim, and I thank you all for the opportunity to be here.
Mayor Ganim has requested that I go first, and he'll be following. For a project like this to happen took a lot. We had been summoned down to Washington, D.C. by then Secretary Ray LaHood for a meeting. Mayor Finch came down, and I came down with my staff with Jim Rediker, Commissioner of DOT, who I like to thank for making this happen, as well as DEEP and other agencies in the state of Connecticut, including OPM. This was a very complicated project, but it just shows that when you put your heads together and act in a reasonable fashion, good things can happen. For years, the city of Bridgeport and Town of Stratford were always fighting each other in a very combative way, mostly in court over issues regarding the airport. And I can tell you now that I would much rather have Lisa Trachtenberg from the City of Bridgeport Attorney's Office on my side than against her, because she's very good at what she does. And it was refreshing to have open dialogue. And I'd like to thank Mayor Finch and, of course, Mayor Ganim now for seeing this project through the end, for just stepping up and having that dialogue, because you can accommodate much more by communicating than actually fighting. And again, we have a safer airport, a better Main Street. The town of Stratford is going to be deeded some land in the near future, which we're looking forward to, because we never owned the parking lot at Long Beach, but we're now going to own it. But these little things were popping up like, I didn't know that, and you learned a lot about the airport, and again, you learned about something that you scratch your head and say, do I really need to know that? And of course you do. But I have a special thanks to Representative Rosa DeLauro. She was very helpful throughout this process. My poor congresswoman has more issues in this town regarding federal matters, the Army engine plant across the street, the EPA, and of course the airport. But she was very helpful in arranging discussions with Secretary LaHood. Karen Kaiser, thank you. Mark Dillon, Steve Nocera for coming down to that initial meeting in Washington and making sure this project got pushed through. And again, it's a day of celebration. I've had some people say that they never see this happen in their lifetime. And unfortunately, Steve Ford and some others didn't make it to see it to its end, and that's unfortunate. So a special thanks to them for not only their dedication and help, but their commitment to making this airport safe, not only for the city of Bridgeport to operate, but for the region to enjoy, and also for the people of Stratford to know that it's safe. So a special thanks to them as well. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Ganim. Mayor?
Somewhat echo, but add to Mayor Harkins' comments. Just a great, this airport, a great, certainly city-owned, but regional asset, has had so many challenges over the years with getting defined and redefined, and today is really a high point, of years of efforts, decades, I guess, and millions upon millions of dollars coming together to see the fruits of labor and the real benefits to the airport and to all of our community.